mother like this? Your father just doesn't understand me the way you do. You're such a good listener. I always feel so much better when I talk to you. How do you know so much? You're so young. Look at her. She's 9. How do you think she feels when this is said to and expected of her? Well, I can tell you because that little girl was me. Special? Yeah, I felt special. I was trusted with very adult information, and I could keep their secrets. Powerful? Powerful also, because they told me I could make them feel better, and I believed it. So then why at the same time did I feel so powerless and like a failure? Well, I couldn't fix or change either one of my parents, and I certainly couldn't save their marriage. I felt torn in between them. I didn't know who or how I could be loyal to them both. I had a knot in my stomach most of the time. I felt confused and overwhelmed and like I was crazy. I was just a kid. So this is totally inappropriate to ask of a child, but I thought it was my job to handle it, and I really believed I could handle it. I can say to you right now, looking back, that I see all of this, but I definitely couldn't tell you until I was in my adult years. Now look at him. He's 7. Let's say we're at the funeral for his father. His father just passed away. And we go up to him, we say, "Oh, Robert, I'm so sorry about your dad, but you're the man of the house now. Take care of your mother and your sisters." Do we even think about what we're saying to him and the messages we're giving him? Robert's mother starts to call him my little man and starts to rely on him to soothe and comfort her. Is he a man? Does he have what it takes to take care of his mother? And what does it really even mean, take care of your mother? The result of this scenario is that Robert doesn't get to have a childhood. So the 2 examples I just presented to you demonstrate aspects of what we call covert emotional incest. Covert emotional incest happens when a caregiver or parent uses their child as a confidant or substitute spouse. You see, parents and caregivers are supposed to be there to meet their child's needs. The child is not supposed to be there to meet their caregiver or parent's needs. But when we have covert emotional incest, this gets turned upside down. Incest, why do we use that word and put the sexual piece in? Because the spousal role is a sexual role, whether there's physical sex happening or not. And since there's not actual physical sexual contact, it can be crazy making for the child. Like for a long time growing up, I felt like I was having an affair with my father. I'd experienced the jealousy of my mother when my father and I would go out together alone. And when we got back to the house, my mother was angry with me and short and curt with my father. When I was an older teen and young adult, and my father and I would be out together alone, people would ask us, "Oh, is this your wife?" And we laughed. We thought that was so cute and so funny. You know, we were just close. Well, it's not cute and it's not funny. What I know today, and I see often with clients, is that my father and I interacted more like lovers than we did like father and daughter, and people definitely pick up on that. Covert emotional incest also involves objectification. The word objectify literally means to degrade to the mere status of an object. Perfect example of this. Young woman I worked with a long time ago. She grew up in a family where her father made peepholes in every room of the house so he could watch his wife and his daughters whenever he pleased. "But I wasn't sexually abused by my father," she said to me. "He molested my 2 sisters. He never touched me." Okay, so think about that for a moment. He never touched me. This young woman was really confused why she, like her sisters, couldn't establish or maintain an adult, healthy romantic relationship, and why she displayed symptoms of depression, anxiety, and self-blame, even though, as she reported, nothing happened to her. What she was displaying are very common signs and symptoms of the physical sexual abuse or incest survivor. Last example. Adina, 14, perfectionistic, anorexic, depressed. Like many clients I've worked with, being objectified taught me the following. 1, in order to have any worth, I had to be sexually attractive to a man and provide him with whatever he wanted. 2, in order to be sexually attractive to a man, I had to have the perfect body. And who defined that perfect body? My father. So I was very aware of being a sexual object as early as 5 years old. My mother told me I needed to go on a diet at 8. I was diagnosed with anorexia at 14, and I struggled for the next 15 years with eating disorders. I knew I was expected to welcome stares and comments from others about my body. And then there was that unwanted touch that makes you cringe, like the open, wet kiss on the mouth or a hug that's just a little bit too tight or too long. Very uncomfortable. But in my family, we were close. We were a close-knit family, so these are the things that went on. In turn, I denied feeling scared, angry, humiliated, repulsed, and I was ever the good girl, and I definitely never said no. Okay, so why is it important that we know about covert emotional incest? It's important because covert emotional incest damages the emotional, relational, and sexual development of our children. They suffer silently because in many cultures, being a confidant, substitute spouse, even objectified, is accepted or admired. It's important because this happens a lot more than we're aware of, and there is something we can do about it. I've guided many people out of the entanglement and confusion of covert emotional incest in my many years of clinical practice. The way out starts with awareness and validating that this is real and hurtful. It continues with telling the survivor directly, whether they're a child or an adult, you are not crazy and you did nothing wrong. Asking for professional help also is very essential for the survivor and for the caregiver or parent. And professional help is out there, and there's no shame in asking for it. So my hope for the survivor is that they can experience the zest of life and for life that I have been privileged to enjoy because of my healing journey. And my hope for the professional community is that we advocate for and perform research so that we continue to raise awareness of covert emotional incest. And for us as caregivers and parents, my hope is that we continue striving to meet the needs of our children by identifying our own and checking our own motives, and of course listening to the precious voices of our kids.